What's up everyone? We're going to go into volume balancing and also gain staging really quick just to give you an idea, to continue from part 1 of my previous video on the introduction to volume balancing and gain staging. So we're going to go to the same session that we went to last video. If you haven't seen the video, I'll put the link in the description below. So what we have here is the previous session in the last video, and what I'm going to go over is the volume balancing part. Now, if I mute out all these or make these mastering plugins inactive, remember when we see our master fader
and I'm just thinking about my daughters
and also the auxiliaries on the vocals, that they are all clipping. So a very easy way to prevent that is to just pull the faders down. Very simple, not really anything that's too hard to think about. And since this is a 2-track beat, you can only turn down the whole beat itself. Now, if you had tracked out beats with the individual parts inside the session, then you'll be able to turn that down as well with gain staging. But for now, we'll just go over volume balancing. So basically, you just turn the beat down. Just keep in mind, just play it at the loudest volume. And what I like to do is just to keep it around -10. So that'll allow plenty of headroom for the vocals to breathe on top of. And overall, I want to have my master fader set hitting around -6 decibels. So I have everything else muted out, and I'll just unmute these vocals. And we're gonna have to adjust from there, including the reverb and delay auxiliaries.
Thinking about my son, one hand on my gun, niggas playing police games, trying to have me on a run.
Mute out these reverb and delays real quick.
Thinking about my son, one hand on my gun, niggas playing police games, trying to.
And if it sounds low to you in your headphones, just turn up the volume on the monitor station that you use, whether it's the master volume on your interface or if you're listening through headphones, just turn the volume up. That's it. As you can see, you turn the faders down on your session to keep it around -6 overall in headroom on your master fader, and then you turn up the volume on your headphones or your interface.
Thinking about my son, one hand on my gun, niggas playing police games, trying to have me on a run. Marlo in the county, he ain't got no bun, having issues with my label, man, that rush shit ain't no fun.
See, it's hitting around -6 right here.
Want me to fry? If I shoot out last night, I coulda got hit with that fire. I tell my kids that I love them, look straight in their eyes.
And then adjust the reverb and delays accordingly. And it's pretty simple as that. Now these vocals are a little sharp more than I would like it, so as far as mixing is concerned, I would just change this EQ on the vocals. But that's another subject, and we'll go over EQ in another video. So like I said, having -6 on the master fader gives enough room for your mastering engineer or yourself, if you're having to master it yourself, enough room to be able to have your plugins on the master fader work. You also don't have to deal with any clipping, and you don't have the need for this X noise that sometimes I see on sessions on the master fader, which takes out the clipping. Another way to volume balance the same session is starting from the very top with no plugins, and I just uploaded the vocals into my own template, and I'm starting all the way over. So what I would want to do is just basically go through the session, listen back through it, and just balance it out, which is called a static mix. So what I would do is just go through the session, adjust my beat, mute these vocals out. From before, I had it set around -10, so leave it at that. Unmute my auxiliaries and just go through each vocal.
Don't never turn down, don't even turn down my collar. It's 1 in the morning and around with my chopper. You live.
Do is just mainly pull down the volumes that I need to. Just make it sound good without applying anything except for my plugins that I already have set. Now I'll go back and adjust the EQ and compression as needed, but at first I'll go and look at these files, play it back according to the beat, and just mix it without doing anything. Another form of volume balancing. Now sometimes you may want to undo the compression and EQ on your auxiliary, in this case my auxiliary, just to get a true feel of the actual volumes.
Marlo in the county, he ain't got no but I die. Just want me to fry. It was a shootout last night, I could've got hit with that fire. I tell my kids that I love them, look them straight in they eyes. You can talk down on me, shit, I'm great in they eyes. I gotta move different, running in around with my chopper. Usually around this time, I be round with my partner. But I been sipping Hen and I'm just thinking about my daughters. Thinking about my son, one hand on my gun. Niggas playing police games, trying to have me on a run. My 1 in the morning, that shit ain't no fight. I could've got hit with that fire. I tell my kids that I love them, look them straight in they.
And that's another way to volume balance, which is very quick and very easy to do. Now that we have volume balancing out the way, we can get into gain staging. To take it a step further, what I would do is just go and gain stage the vocals, which needs to be pulled down. Now, if you remember what gain staging is, it's using a gain plugin, and in Pro Tools it's called Trim, but it should be a simple gain plugin in your DAW like Logic or Reason or whatever you're using. I'm simply setting the fader to 0 on the vocal that you want to gain stage, pulling up the gain plugin, muting out the beat.
Never turn down, don't even turn down my car. It's 1 in the morning and around with my chopper. Usually around this time, I be around with my partners.
And just try to eyeball and hit it around -18 as far as the output is concerned. Now, why -18? In the digital world, the best signal to noise ratio, in which the signal is the vocal and the noise is the background parts where you don't hear anything, but if you turn it up, you'll hear ground noise. It's the floor and the vocal is the signal. -18 decibels is the supposed sweet spot for plugins to be utilized correctly and at its best. As we can see here, the vocals were recorded correctly analog wise. So what I would want to do is just adjust the overall level to hit at -18 decibels for my compressor and my other compressors and EQs to be utilized at its best. Also, setting at -18 helps you to prevent clipping on the master fader. So as you can see, I set my trim plugins and turn my compressors and EQs and whatever plugins that I have back on. These background vocals look fine, most likely hitting -18. Play it back. It's actually a little bit lower, so I'll pull them up. So let's say I just pulled all these faders all the way up.
I don't never turn down, don't even turn down my car. It's 1 in the morning and around with my chopper. Usually around this time, I be round with my partner. But I've been sipping Hen and I'm just thinking.
As you can see, me pulling the faders all the way up after gain staging and playing it back.
I don't never turn down, don't even turn down.
Prevents it from going past 0 and prevents it from clipping. So that's another reason why gain staging is a good way to go about your mixing, because it's somewhat foolproof and keeps you from clipping. Now, once you start adding gain into your plugins, that's a different story. So when you're adding plugins and effects and processing, keep that in mind. So I hope this clarified some more stuff for you as far as volume balancing and gain staging is concerned. And I hope you learned something from this tutorial. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment below. And let me know what else you would like to learn about. And until next time, send, mix, play.